No murmuring, no whispering. School appointments, house appointments, prefects, NCC cadet under officers. Take charge. This is your program, and you have to bring the highest standard here. You all will be beneficiaries. Clear? I hope it is clear to all. No whispering, no murmuring, no talking.
have your permission to start? Thank you, sir. Respected Principal, Administrative Officer, Senior Master, esteemed judges, teachers, and my dear Jinkian friends. Good evening to you all. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to much-awaited Inter-House English Debate Competition. Today we gather here not just to witness a battle of words, but to engage in critical thinking, logical reasoning, and passionate persuasion, as we explore a question that strikes at every core of our youth's future. India's education system is adequately preparing students for real-world challenges. This topic affects every student, every teacher, indeed every citizen. Is our education system empowering the next generation with practical knowledge and life skills? Or is it still trapped in outdated patterns that do little to prepare us for challenges outside the classroom? Today we'll hear 8 speakers representing different senior houses. 4 speakers will speak for the motion and 4 speakers will speak against the motion. Before we begin, let me acquaint you with the debate proceedings. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to present their argument. At the end of 4 minutes, a bell will be ring to remind the speaker that they have 1 minute left to conclude their speech. After all 8 speakers have presented, the first speaker in favor of the motion will be invited for 1 minute rebuttal. Following that, we will open the floor for an open house where cadets will be invited to share their views while the judges finalize the result. Timekeeper for today's function is Cadet Som Lavande. So let us begin with our first speaker, Cadet Darsh Raurane from Tilak House. He says that, let's talk the numbers. India has the largest population of 1.4 billion people, 1,600 languages. We also have the largest student population, over 250 million students. So let's invite Cadet Darsh.
Jana Agni Sarva Karmani Basmasat Kurute Tatha. A shlok from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 37, which means nothing, but just as blazing fire turns wood to ashes, so does the power of eternal knowledge burns all the material karma to ashes. A very warm and auspicious evening to one and all. Respected President, Honorable Principal Sir, Administrative Officer, Senior Master, esteemed panel of judges, revered members of staff, teachers, and all my dear Ajinkyans present in this August hall. Here I Cadet Darsh from class 11th, representing my Tilak House. I'm here to support the motion of today's topic, which is India's education adequately preparing students for the real world? And I strongly support this motion, not just with optimism, but with truth, conviction, and evidence. Firstly, let's not forget the massive transformation the Indian education system has undergone. We are not anymore the India of 1950s or 2000s. We are in the invincible India where the national education policies have restructured the very DNA of learning, where the Gurukul ideals of lifelong are blended with 21st century tech. I quote, the Indian education system is no more just preparing students for the real world. It's preparing them to change the world. I unquote. Today's Indian classrooms are no longer chalk and talk silos, but rather they are new and highly powered labs, startups, boot camps, and so many other things, which proves that today's Indian classrooms are just, and today's Indian students are no longer just studying and learning, but rather they are learning to think, build, and lead. Well, moving on further, and let's have a glimpse of our youth. Our youth who is trained in AI, artificial intelligence, which is machine learning, app development, coding, and so many other things, which are all being powerful launch pads in their careers. Well, moving on further, let's address the personalities who sit on their high chairs and preach that our Indian education system is broken. I ask, broken for whom? For the IITians who are managing and leading multi-billion-dollar tech giants like Google. Or broken for the AIMS graduate doctors who are doing miracles by saving lives and leading WHO missions. Or broken for the IIM graduates who are managing multi-billion-dollar multinational corporations across the globe. You criticize the very system that has given birth to the minds that shape the world. Now let's get real. What exactly are the real world challenges? The real world challenges are nothing but a world that demands for creativity, innovation, critical thinking, and skills. Now, after hearing me for such a long time, tell me honestly whether the Indian education system is not forging ahead in the exact direction. Well, I think there is no debate. Moving on further, let's talk the numbers. The Indian education system has more than 250 million students. It has a population more than 1.4 billion people and also 1600 languages. In spite of such a big population and such a diversity, Indians are making global leaders, innovators, and change makers. We produce the most number of globally recognized engineers, doctors, and also a growing army of billionaire entrepreneurs. Well, now moving on further, let's talk about the Indian students and also about India. Well, India is not catching up to the world, whereas the world is catching up to India. We sent Chandrayaan to the moon, Mangalyaan to the Mars at the very first attempt, like no other country, and at a cost less than a Hollywood movie. In conclusion, I strongly believe that the real question is not whether the Indian education system is doing enough. But the real question is, are we ready to acknowledge the progress? I quote, the Indian education system is no longer just about learning, it's about leading. It's no longer just about thinking and about learning and processes, but it's more about redefining the world. I unquote. Thank you and have a phenomenal day ahead. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Cadet Darsh, for that strong opening. Now we invite our first speaker against demotion, Cadet Ishan Bose from Lal Bahadur Shastri House. He says that students face lot many challenges as they grow up, but the skills which are needed to tackle these challenges are not taught by the Indian education system. Instead, it focuses more on memorizing information than on practical skills. To say more on this, I invite Cadet Ishan.
Let me begin with a question that is very vital for the future course of India. That is the Indian education system really preparing the students for the real life challenges that they are going to face in their near future? Well, the obvious answer is no, my friends. A very graceful evening to one and all present here. Respected President, Honorable Principal Sir, Administrative Officer, Senior Master, members of the jury, members of the faculty, my worthy opponents, and all my dear Jinkins who are present in this eminent gathering. Today, I, Cadet Ishan Dheeraj Borse from Lal Bahadur Shastri House, I stand here to change the mindset of the people who believe that the Indian education system is really preparing the students for their future. Now let's begin with the very core of the subject, that what real life challenges actually are. In the modern society, students face a wide range of real life challenges as they transition from education to adulthood, including lack of practical skills. The education system focuses more on theoretical knowledge and rote memorization than on practical skills. As a result, the students may graduate with very limited real-world competencies. This method of rote learning, which is informally called as ratta, is indeed a very wrong practice, but a widespread one. And this is due to the excess theory-based knowledge and the minimal practical knowledge which is being provided to the students. And this method of learning will definitely not help the youth to prosper in the process of real learning, as it is very much different from the other. By this, I remember a shlok from the Vedas, which goes, Om Purnamad Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. This verse means that the whole is complete and the part is also complete. But when the whole is taken away from the whole still remains the same. Didn't understand, right? Of course, the true learning is a bit different. Let me explain it to you. This mantra can be interpreted as a reminder that the process of true learning is discovering the completeness within oneself, aligning with the modern vision of knowledge, leading to wholeness, awareness, and a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all things. The Indian education system gives an overwhelming emphasis on academic excellence, rewarding students for memorizing vast amounts of information. This method of learning does not nurture important skills like adaptability and problem solving, which are very much essential in the modern workplace. Now, my immaculate opponents will say that this education system provides skill subject to the students. But let me tell them to also look to the other side. But of course, they will not. So let me shed some light on the skill subjects. Let's talk about the most heated subject, that is AI. Artificial intelligence, as it is called, the future of humanity. But the condition of this future doesn't seem right, as out of the total of 14.72 lakh schools and colleges, this subject is available to only 4,538 schools and colleges. It is clearly evident how minimal the number is. And due to this, there is also a lack of job opportunity, as the important subjects are available only to a small part, and the majority of the youth either lacks practical skills or something which this system has not taught them. Do you even know how many people commit suicide every year due to lack of job opportunity? Well, the number is 69,000. Yes, 69,000 people commit suicide every year due to lack of job opportunity, and still some say that the education system is preparing them. In the end, I believe that your mindset towards the Indian education system would have changed, as the current scenario of the system reminds me of a quote by one of the greatest minds who ever walked on this planet. He is none other than Albert Einstein. As he once said, the only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. And this very quote holds the crux of the whole subject. With this, I bestow my trust upon you and believe that your perception towards the Indian education system would have changed. And I leave the rest of the decision to you. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Cadet Ishan, for your powerful words and thought-provoking perspective. Now I call upon third speaker, Cadet Manoj Kasure. He says that Indian education system offers a robust academic foundation. The introduction of NEP 2020 marks a significant reform aimed for nation building. This policy also bridges the gap between educational barriers to enhance vocational training and skill development in education system. To say more about this, I invite Cadet Manoj.
As quoted by the Google CEO Sundar Pichai, I quote, "A company's success is not determined by its past, but by its ability to innovation." I unquote. A very good evening to one and all present here. Respected President, Honorable Principal, Administrative Officer, Senior Master, respected judges, and all my dear Ajinkan comrades present in this august hall. I, Cadet Manoj, representing Garbe House, with all the resources at my disposal, stand before you to support the motion. India's education system is adequately preparing students to encounter the real world challenges. While there are certain areas for improvement, the foundation laid by the Indian education system equips students with relevant skills, critical thinking and practical knowledge, essential for success in modern society. I would like to ask few questions to my worthy opponents. How does the vocational training program integrated into the curriculum to equip students with relevant skills? How does the updated national education policy address the need for critical thinking and creativity in students? How does the collaboration between educational institutions and industries help students to gain practical experience? My dear friends, developing these arguments around these questions can help to to present a comprehensive view of how India's education system is adequately preparing students to encounter the real world challenges. First is the strong academic foundation. India's education system offers a robust academic foundation. As Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the former President of India, once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. This foundation not only emphasizes the core subjects like mathematics and science, but also fosters analytical skills necessary for addressing complex problems. The strong emphasis on academics lay the groundwork for critical thinking, a skill indispensable in today's rapidly evolving job market. Second is the growing focus on competency-based learning. The introduction of the National Education Policy 2020 marks a significant reform aimed at making education more relevant to real-world applications. This policy encourages competency-based learning, focusing on understanding the concepts rather than rote memorization. As Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan stated, our aim is to make the students future ready. And the quote and the declare. The National Education Policy aims to bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical experience, ensuring that students graduate with the skills necessary to navigate the complexities of the modern workforce. Third is the emphasis on skill development. Moreover, initiatives such as Skill India campaign have aimed to enhance vocational training and skill development. These initiatives emphasizes that skills are the new currency in the job market. By providing students with educational training and vocational training, we are effectively preparing them for diverse career paths, creating a workforce that is versatile and adaptable. Fourth is the global recognition of Indian institutes. The global recognition of Indian institutes adds another layer of credence to our argument. For example, the Indian Institute of Technology and Indian Institute of Management are consistently ranked among the best in the world. They produce graduates who not only secure jobs in India, but also excels internationally. As a report from the World Economic Forum states, India has one of the youngest population in the world, and harnessing this demographic dividend through education can significantly contribute to the global innovation. I would like to give one simple example to my worthy opponents in context of supporting the Indian education system. That is the STEM focus. The emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education in India corresponds with the global economic trends. By providing students with vocational training, critical thinking, and educational training, we are effectively preparing them for diverse career paths, which is acceptable and achievable. In conclusion, I would like to say, while there are many reasons and many contexts in the vocational training paths, but according to my opinion, we are creating a workforce that is versatile and adaptable in today's evolving era. So let us embark on this journey together. Let us show the world that we are capable of greatness. Capable of greatness not just for ourselves, but for the sake of the country's future. Thank you.
Good job, Cadet Manoj. Your articulation and confidence were commendable. Now we invite Cadet Aditya Borge from Rana Pratap House. He says, education is not learning of facts, but training mind to face real-world challenges. To say more about this, I invite Cadet Aditya.
Education is not learning of facts, but training of mind to face real-world challenges. A very good evening to one and all present over here, respected President, Honorable Principal, Madam Officer, Senior Master, members of the jury, members of the faculty, teachers, my educated opponents, and you, my dear Ajinkans present in this August hall. I am Karit Aditya from Maharana Pratap House, stand in front of you to argue against one of the most debatable topic in this era. Is really Indian education system preparing students for real world challenges? But before moving further, let me take you all back in a time and remind you the old way of learning. Long back, education system was known as Shastra, which was more than just a curriculum. It was a way of life. The students didn't just study from books, but also understand the world around them. It was a system which connects mind, soul, and body for real world. But over the period of time, the new education system came in India, which we are following presently. It primarily focuses on textbooks and exams. It never focuses on soft skill development, emotional intelligence, and moral values. The students are only taught to learn facts and never taught them how to apply it in real life. That's why Indian students are lacking way behind than expected level. Our present government had studied a lot and itself declared far major responsible factors because of which we are lacking behind. First, rote learning over critical thinking. Second, lack in practical exposure. Third, lack in soft skill development. Fourth, outdated curriculum. Fifth, and the most important point, it only focuses on exams rather than skill development. Still, after listening this much of things, my opponents will say that Indian education system is preparing students for real world challenges. To them, I would like to ask question. Wouldn't you read news or knowingly ignoring it? We all know that every year, nearly 1,000 to 2,000 students become victim of anxiety, depression, and gains high stress after exam results, though they study the same syllabus for a whole year. For example, a boy studying for an important exam of his life fails to achieve expected goal, and after feeling afraid towards his future scenario, he commits a suicide. Then how my opponents can say the Indian education system is best or preparing students for real world challenges? Although it is not an appreciable thing, but we all have witnessed one more similar situation. Over the years, many Indian young students move to foreign for their higher education. Why do you think this happens? Because they know that Indian education system is behind than expected level. Still, there are many facts, points, and examples to prove that we are behind. But because of shortage of time, let me tell you a small fact which will clear your all doubts. According to Center Monitoring of Indian Economy, 10% of degree holders, 45% of graduates, and 60% of engineers are employed in India. And we stand at 33rd position in educational development, which shows that there is huge scope of development in educational sector. To conclude, I would like to say that though Indian education system produces excellent students in academics, but it majorly fails to prepare them for real world. No syllabus covers how to bounce back to a setback, and that's the biggest drawback of our system. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Great effort, Karit Aditya. Your delivery was engaging and impactful. Now I call upon fifth speaker, Cadet Harshal Mahajan. He says that Indian education system teaches students how to approach problems logically and also has made significant advancements in offering diverse career options and pathways. To say more about this, I invite Cadet Harshal.
My dear opponents claim we have been misled, but while they are stuck in their theories, we are ahead. Our education system gives us the tools to thrive, while they are still trying to figure out how to survive. A very good evening, Honorable President, respected Principal, Administrative Officer, Senior Master, members of the jury, members of the faculty, and all my dear Ajinkins. I am Cadet Harshal Prakash Mahajan from Lal Bahadur Shastri House, and I stand in front of you to address a time-sensitive question. That is the Indian education system adequately preparing students to face real-world challenges? While we often find ourselves questioning the efficiency of our education system, it is important to acknowledge the many strengths it brings in preparing students to face real-world challenges. It's interesting that my opponents argue the system is flawed, but I'm starting to wonder if they truly feel unprepared for the real world. Could it be because they have spent more time blaming the system than actually preparing for the challenges they are going to face? One of the biggest strengths of our education system is its emphasis on building a strong foundation in core academic subjects. The subjects which are taught are not just academic, they teach students how to approach problems logically, analyze data, and make informed decisions. Our education system instills a sense of hard work and discipline in students. The rigorous exam structure and frequent assessments may seem challenging, but they build resilience and perseverance in students. This ability to cope with stressful conditions can help them in high-stakes scenarios later in their careers. In recent years, our education system has made significant strides in offering diverse career options and pathways. Therefore, the missile man of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam said, our education system has always produced intellectuals who have excelled globally and continues to be a driving force for innovation and development. As of 2024, over 15 million individuals have been trained under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, out of which more than 70% have secured jobs. The National Skill Development Corporation has facilitated skill development for more than 13 million youth by offering over 4,000 plus training centers nationwide. India's education system is increasingly fostering an entrepreneurial mindset, helping students to address gaps in the society and contribute to both societal and personal growth. Our education system places significant importance on values such as respect, community service, and social responsibility. These values are essential for creating well-rounded individuals who can contribute positively to society. Universities such as the IIMs and IITs have been at the forefront of providing students with a platform to think beyond textbooks. India's growing tech industry, supported by a large pool of skilled graduates, has demonstrated how well Indian students are able to adapt and innovate in response to global challenges. Therefore, we find people like Sundar Pichai and Satya Nadella leading the world's biggest IT companies. If life were just about criticizing and finding flaws, my dear opponents are already experts. They have been preparing this role since their whole lives. Let it be. The introduction of programs like Skill India and Digital India aim to equip students with practical job-ready skills. The National Education Policy of 2020 focuses on transforming the education landscape by integrating holistic learning, critical thinking, and innovation into the curriculum. On mental health, yes, the pressure on students is real. But honestly, if they can survive 2 months of exams with zero sleep, they're ready for anything life throws at them. About stress management, forget about yoga and meditation. We are preparing them in the art of complete mental breakdowns, still somehow getting an A+ grade. In the end, I would like to ask a question to my opponents. Do you even know how many skill subjects does CBSE offer to students of class 9 to 12th? I'm pretty sure they won't be able to answer, as ChatGPT has not prepared them for this, so I will only answer. CBSE offers 22 skill subjects in classes 9th and 10th, and 43 in classes 11th and 12th to train students with practical and vocational courses. In the end, I would just like to say, let them do anything. Just focus on your education. That's all. Thank you and have a cheerful day ahead.
Excellent speech, Cadet Harshal. You communicated your ideas very effectively. Now I invite sixth speaker of the day, Cadet Naman Devrani. He wants to say that real-world readiness isn't about scoring in exams. It's about how we face life, and that's the fact our education system needs to understand. To convey more, let me call upon Cadet Naman.
A very good evening to one and all present here. Respected President, Honorable Principal, Administrative Officer, Senior Master, members of the jury, members of the faculty, and all my dear Ajinkins present in this August gathering. Well, before introducing myself, let us imagine this. A student walks out of school with 95% marks, but no real skills, no confidence, and no clue what to do next. This is not success. This is a systematic failure wrapped in a shiny report card. Ladies and gentlemen, today I, Cadet Naman, representing Tilak House, stand firmly against the motion that Indian education system is adequately preparing students for the real world. Because, let's face it, our education system doesn't prepare us for life. It prepares us for exams, for obedience, and for a rat race that leads to absolutely nowhere. We should know that we are producing graduates who can solve complex calculus, but still cannot even solve a basic life problem without Googling it. We are not creating thinkers, leaders, or creators anymore. All we are creating is a generation that's stressed, directionless, and deeply unprepared for the challenges they are going to face outside those classroom walls. And that is the fact we cannot afford to ignore anymore. Hence, let me begin with the biggest flaw in our education system. That is our obsession with rote learning. Students are forced to memorize entire textbooks, just vomit it out in exams and forget it the very next day. Let us ask a topper about taxes, mental health, or how to write a job application. They'll freeze. Why is the question you would all ask? Because our education system never teaches them for life. Our education system is not ready. Now, let me shed some light on something that actually matters in the real world. That is communication, leadership, financial literacy, and emotional intelligence. Well, do we teach them in schools? No. Do we ever test them in board examinations? Never. Yet these are the very skills that define success or failure in a candidate's life. When a class 12 student walks out of school with no clue how to write a proper email, face an interview, or even open a bank account all by himself. But surely he could explain you that complex structure of an atom. It's like we are producing walking encyclopedias other than functional human beings. And what about talent and passion? Every student is forced to follow the same syllabus, same routine, and the same definition of success. It's like we're not allowing the kid to explore. All we do is just mold them into machines which are identical and overworked, and definitely burnt by the time they turn 18. And do you foresee the result of this? Millions of engineers who never wanted to become engineers, doctors who hate hospitals, and dreamers who just gave up upon dreaming. Let me give you a brief reality check. Employers in India, ranging from startups to MNCs, are constantly complaining that fresh graduates are unemployable. Even the National Employability Report states that over 80% of Indian engineers are not even job ready. Despite seeing these circumstances, few people are present here just to argue. Hence, let me ask a few questions to my fellow debaters sitting right here. That if our education system is doing so well, why do students need additional coachings just to survive schools? Why do graduates need extra training just to get basic jobs to feed their own stomachs? And why are mental health issues among students at an all-time high? Clearly, the system isn't working. And the proof, it lies everywhere. It exists in jobless youth, in broken dreams, and a generation of students that are more anxious than ambitious. We all learn about photosynthesis, but still, most of us don't know how to grow a plant correctly. We all can approximately write 5 to 6 pages about global warming, but still, most of us don't know how to separate dry and wet waste. Is this what we call preparing for the real world? No. It's preparing for marks rather than life. Now, while concluding, I would like to state that real-world readiness isn't about scoring in exams. It's about facing life. And until our system evolves to teach us how to think, how to cope, how to lead, and how to live, we have no right to call this an adequate education system. That's all from my side. Thank you and have a great evening ahead.
Well spoken, Cadet Naman. Your expressions and choice of words were remarkable. Now we invite our seventh speaker, Cadet Aditya Tiwari. He says, education is what one forgot, what one has learned in school. Now I call upon Cadet Aditya Tiwari to express more his feelings.
Education is what one forgot, what one has learned in the school. By the thought, good evening, Honorable President, respected Principal, Admin Officer, Senior Master, members of the jury, members of the faculty, and all my dear Jenkins, present is August Kadri. Here, I Cadet Aditya, on behalf of Maharana Pratap House, is going to speak for our Indian education system preparing our students for real world challenges. Before starting my topic, I want to clear what is education. Education is the process of learning and acquiring knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes. It is crucial for individual growth, societal progress, and economic development. Enabling people to acquire knowledge, skills, and critical thinking abilities lead to better job opportunities, better health outcomes, and more informed and engaged citizenry. Let's talk about topic, is Indian education system preparing our students for real world challenges? Definitely yes. My friends who are acting as my debate competitors, I want to tell them, in just 10 years, we made great achievement. We pushed our educational ranking from 72 to 33rd. Our literacy rate is 77%. Little bit miserable, but not so, because we made a 5% increment from 2011 as per the reports of 2023. Our male literacy rate is 84% and in female it is 65%, which was less than 50% at the time of independence. Kerala, one of our state having approximately 96% literacy rate, which make one of the most literate state of our country. My worthy opponents saying Indian educational system is full of demerits, less effective, and having invisible success rate. I want to clear them. As per the reports of Wikipedia, our Indian educational system had made notable achievements, including increase in literacy rate, implementation of acts like Right to Education Act and Access to Education. Efforts are being made and initiatives like New Education Policy NEP 2020 is undergoing. Let us talk about the success rate. Success. With a boost of 58,000 institutions, our country makes the second largest educational system of the world, with 43.3 million students enrolled in the higher education system as per the last year. And you can imagine the success rate. My worthy opponents, I want to make you familiar with the advantages and growth of our Indian educational system. Indian education system offers accessibility, affordability, wide curriculum, and develop a well-rounded individual, while also make a competitive spirit and fostering a strong foundation in core subjects. Let's make a look in detail on the advantages. Accessibility and affordability. Affordable fees. Affordable fees means the government make any plan as per the public level that make public to afford than of other countries, which make access to wider population. Public schools. Public schools are being set up by the government to catch a population of students, and it is an asset for the students who come from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. Now, competitive spirit and strong foundation, competitive environment. Our Indian education system is known for this competitive spirit, which motivates students to excel and learn and develop analytical skills. Strong foundation. Our Indian educational system made a curriculum to develop and build strong foundation in core subjects, which are maths and science. Adaptability and technological advancements. Adaptability at global standards. Many schools in our country are developing and aligning their education as per the global standards. Now, technological integration and technological advancement are improving the knowledge and education and engaging. Flexibility and convenient. The modern education is more flexible and convenient with these things, with the options of online and offline supplementary classes. As because of these things, our educational system is one of the oldest and largest educational system of the world, assigned to guide many students with the learning stages. I want to give an example, one of our product of Indian educational system, Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO of Giganta Max Google. At the end, I want to say, education make a person easy to lead, difficult to drive, easy to govern, but impossible to enslave. That's all for today. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Nice work, Cadet Aditya. Your voice modulation and enthusiasm was spot on. Now I call upon last speaker of the day, Cadet Kumar Kamlesh. He says that instead of having fastest growing economy in the world, India is suffering from illiteracy, unemployment, corruption, etc. The reason is a fault in our education system. To say more about this, I invite Cadet Kumar Kamlesh.
An education that only teaches us to memorize will never teach us to live. True learning is not in the grade that we get on a piece of paper, but in the courage that we gain to chase our dream, face our fear, and change the world. A very good evening to one and all present here. Respected President, Honorable Principal, Administrative Officer, Senior Master, members of the jury, members of the faculty, and all my dear Ajinkyans present in this August hall. I am Cadet Kumar Kamlesh, representing my Karve House, and I am going to express my view against the motion of the topic, that is, India's education system is adequately preparing students for real-world challenges. India is a vast country with having fastest growing economy in the world, having 5,228 universities, 52,000 colleges, and about 1.5 million schools. Instead of having this huge potential, India is suffering from illiteracy, unemployment, corruption, poverty, criminal offense, and many, many more problems like these. So, my worthy opponent, have you ever thought why these problems are occurring in a vast country like India? The main reason behind this is a glitch in our education system. Friends, in my whole speech, I will touch upon three major problems in our education system that will clear all minds that our education system has some fault. And that's why it is not adequately preparing students for real-world challenges. First is focus on rote learning, not critical thinking. Backbone of Indian education system is emphasizing on rote memorizing a huge amount of information with little regard for understanding. This approach may help you score well in the exam, but it does not foster or development critical thinking, problem-solving skills, and creativity. Imagine for a moment, you are sitting in a classroom, teacher speaks of a concept, theories, formula, but you have not understood them. Simply you are memorizing them and repeating them in exam, you get good marks. This practice focuses us to memorize knowledge that will often be forgotten the moment exam is over. Second is lack of practical skills. Every year, Indian educational institutes produce about 11 million graduates. A huge number, right? But only few number of graduates secure job. Let me give you an example. Only 10% of all engineering graduates secure job. But what about the others? The main problem they are facing is lack of practical skills. Many students of India are migrating to abroad like USA, Russia, Australia. So, my worthy opponent, have you ever thought the reason behind this? The reason is to learn new emerging skills. Where in India, there is no scope for such skills. Third is the most affecting one, problem of neglecting mental health. Today, in student life, stress has replaced happiness, and they are compressed by rigorous rule of our education system. We hear the stories of students driven to suicide, of dream crushed under the weight of expectation. How can we expect a student to thrive in a world that demands resilience when they are never taught how to manage stress, how to manage disappointment, how to manage failure? Students are not robots. They are human beings with feelings and want to achieve their dreams. A student who loves art is often pressurized to find success by taking science. A student who is passionate toward history has often told to solve commerce mystery. We want that education system that prepare students not just for exam, but for life. A system that teaches them to think, to question, to explore. To some of friends, I'm not saying that everything is bad. Yes, there are efforts to improve. but the gap between what is taught and what is required in real life is still wide. Don't we deserve better? While concluding, I would like to quote. I quote, in final though, let's all agree, this system lacking plain to see. Challenges loom, a testing phase, the current learning lost its way. A vital shift we must inspire to fuel their future with true fire. That's all. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Great presentation, Cadet Kumar. Your speech was well structured and thought-provoking. Brilliant work. Your poise and confidence were truly admirable. Now that both sides have presented their arguments, it's time for a rebuttal. We invite back to the podium Cadet Darsh from Tilak House, our first speaker in favor of the motion for 1 minute rebuttal. Cadet Darsh.
Once again, a very good evening to one and all. I take up this opportunity to sum up all the conversations taken up on the stage today and now. Well, it was quite hilarious listening to my worthy opponents trying to prove their misguided notion. Well, there were some common criticisms from my worthy opponents that Indian learning is rote-based and also that it's outdated. But they are hiding and they are forgetting the fact that there have been massive transformations in the Indian education system. Well, for example, just take up the NEP 2020, which is totally focusing on critical learning, innovations, and creativity. Also, don't forget the Indian education of online platforms like PME Vidya, due to which education is reaching the villages where it was not possible before. Therefore, to conclude, I still strongly believe that the real question is not whether the Indian education system is doing enough, and also that the Indian education system is not just proving and preparing students for the real world, it's preparing them to redefine it. Thank you and have a phenomenal day ahead. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Cadet Darsh, for that sharp and confident rebuttal. What an insightful and spirited exchanges of ideas we have witnessed today. Each speaker presented their side with passion, clarity, and conviction. Whether for or against, you all have proved that our future is indeed in articulate and capable hands. Let us give all our debaters a huge round of applause. While the judges finalize their scores, let's hear the open house speakers. To start with, Cadet Tanush Srivastav from Lal Bahadur Shastri House.
A very pleasant and gracious evening to one and all present here. Respected President, Honorable Principal, Administrative Officer, Senior Master, members of the teaching and non-teaching staff, and all my Jinkins present in this eminent hall. Here is Cadet Tanush, and today I am here to discuss the point, Indian education system, pros and cons. So, to be honest, I will be focusing more on the cons. To begin with, I would like to ask the same question that my comrades have asked here. Is the Indian education system really preparing the students to face real life challenges? Well, my comrades have presented really good leads about their points, but I still believe, like a coin, every topic has two sides. So the answer is yes and no. While on one side, Indian education system is preparing CEOs and entrepreneurs, but while it is preparing people who lack the basic ability to survive in this fast moving world. So, to answer my question, no, my dear friends, it is not preparing it adequately. I would like to address a really important point, brain drain, which is one of the most important reasons why India is still developing. I would like to first of all explain brain drain. Brain drain is a term used to refer to people who leave their hometown or their home country to study abroad or to work abroad. But why is the fact that people are leaving India to work abroad or to study abroad? What is the problem with the Indian education system? Let me tell you some real facts right now. As we stand here on 11th April 2025, NASA has a mission going on in which 10% of the work base are Indians. Why are 15% of the doctors in USA Indians? Why aren't they working in India? What is the problem with India? Can't they work for the Indian they have lived for? I would also like to address an important point. What is the solution to this problem? Value education, my dear friends. Value education is really important. And well, the National Education Policy 2020 states that it will be teaching value education through sculptures like Mahabharata, Ramayana, and other such core subjects. But I would like to point out something. My dear friends, do you know Khuldiram Bose? Of course you wouldn't. After all, he is not mentioned in our history books. Let me tell you that he laid down his life at a merry age of 18 to fight against the Britishers. Why don't we know about him? Why do we know about Lord Wesley, Lord Mountbatten, and not about this guy who sacrificed his life for India? Let me give you some more examples. You must be knowing Alexander the Great, the Greek ruler who conquered almost the whole world. But do you know Porus, who stood on the Punjab forefront and fought Alexander the Great with a merry army of 1 lakh against the 6 lakhs of the Greek? And he almost defeated him. But of course, merry manpower did defeat them. Do you know about Maharana Pratap, who fought against Akbar? Of course, Akbar is mentioned in our history books, but not Maharana Pratap. I would also like to state, you must be knowing about Tughlaq dynasty, who ruled over the Delhi Sultanate, but you would not know Suhaldev, who fought against them and ensured that the Indian sculptures survived. I would also like to state that people state that the National Education Policy will ensure that it works. But what about the implementation? When will it be implemented fully? Guys, let me tell you, do not quote, it had been COVID, we cannot implement it. It's been 3 years since the COVID pandemic ended, guys. And it's been 5 years since the 2020 National Education Policy released. So please come out of the lockdown mindset and come forward and state your points. With this, I would like to conclude my speech. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Well said, Cadet Tanush. Now I call upon the next speaker of the day, Cadet Viraj Mane from Karve House.
I quote, the roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is always sweet. I unquote. Traditionally known for its rigorous exams, the system has evolved over time, incorporating vocational training, digital literacy, and growing awareness on emotional well-being. A very good evening, respected President, Honorable Principal Sir, Administrative Officer, Senior Master, the esteemed members of jury, the respected members of faculty, and all my sparkling Ajinkyans present in this august gathering. I am Cadet Viraj Mane from Karve House, and today I am going to speak for the motion of the topic, that is Indian education system preparing students for the real life challenges? As the world becomes increasingly complex and interconnected, the question arises, is Indian education system equipping students with practical skills, critical thinking abilities, and resilience needed to navigate the challenges of this modern world? As greatly said by Nelson Mandela, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world, and our system is equipping us with this weapon step by step. The Indian education system relies on some of the aspects that are: first, strong academic foundation. The Indian education system provides solid foundation for core subjects like mathematics, science, and language. A strong grasp on these subjects will help to develop analytical and problem-solving skills, which are very crucial in real-life situations. Secondly, speaking about discipline and time management. The exam-centric nature of the system, while sometimes criticized like my worthy opponents do, instead instills discipline and ability to manage time effectively. In this real world, whether in job or personal life, the ability to meet deadlines, handle pressure, and stay organized is very essential. Thirdly, speaking on focus on competitive exams and career options. The Indian education system is structured to prepare students for competitive exams, which opens doors to various career options, whether it be engineering, medicine, law, or management. The system provides ample opportunities for students to specialize in the fields that match their interests and attitudes. The focus on preparing students for high-stake exams like JEE, NEET and or UPSC ensures that they are well equipped to face the real-world challenges that demand academic excellence and intellectual capabilities. Now, with this, I quote, in the competitive arena of career opportunities, success is not solely determined by academic excellence, but by the ability to adapt, innovate, and seize opportunities by skill and resilience. I unquote. Now, moving toward vocational and technical education. In recent years, there has been incredible focus on vocational training and technical education in India. Fields like information technology, healthcare, and skilled trades have become more prominent, allowing students to gain direct experience which prepares them for the workforce. Initiatives like Skill India and partnership between schools and industries indicates that the Indian education system is adapted to the demand of job market. Now, talking about technological integration, the increased use of technology in schools and colleges has made students more comfortable with digital tools, which are very essential in the world where technology plays a central role. The integration of online learning platforms, coding courses, and digital resources helps the students to become more techno-savvy and prepare them for the career in technological-driven fields. To encapsulate my position, I would like to emphasize on some of the words. I quote, the education system is truly successful not only when it imparts knowledge, but also when it prepares students for the uncertainties of life to adapt and thrive. Thank you and have a nice evening ahead.
Nicely articulated, Cadet Viraj. Now the next speaker of the day is Cadet Abhinit Kumar from Tilak House.
A very good evening to all present over here. Respected President, Honorable Principal Sir, Administrative Officer, Senior Master, members of the jury, members of the faculty, and all my dear Jinkins present in this august gathering. I, Cadet Abhinit Kumar, from class 11th B, representing my Tilak House, and I am going to acquaint you all with my topic, Defense of India. Firstly, let me talk about India. India's landmass covers an area of 32,87,263 million square kilometers. Its land frontier extends up to 15,200 kilometers and the coastline totaling up to 7,516.6 kilometers, making India a continental or maritime neighbor of 11 countries in Asia. The defense policy of India aims at promoting and sustaining durable peace in the subcontinent and equipping the defense forces adequately. The Supreme Commander of the Indian Armed Forces is the President of India. However, the responsibility of national defense rests with Union Cabinet. The Defense Minister is responsible for all defense-related matters in the country. The present Defense Minister is Mr. Rajnath Singh. All the administrative and operational work is taken care by the Ministry of Defense and the three service headquarters. In the Defense Ministry is mainly divided into four departments. First, Department of Defense. Second, Department of Defense Production. Third, Department of Defense Research and Development. And fourth, Department of Ex-Serviceman Welfare. In the year 2002, Ministry of Defense was renamed as Integrated Headquarters of Ministry of Defense. And in the year 2019, a new post of Chief of Defense Staff, CDS, was created of a 4-star rank general for the better coordination and functioning of the Indian Armed Forces. The first CDS was General Bipin Rawat, and the current CDS is Lieutenant General Anil Chauhan. The Indian Armed Forces is mainly divided into three services: Indian Army, Navy, and Indian Air Force. To start with Indian Army. Indian Army is the fourth largest army in the whole world. The chief is a general ranked chief of army staff. The present army chief is General Upendra Vedi. The headquarters is situated in New Delhi. The Indian Army is mainly organized into 7 commands. Northern Command is situated in Udhampur, Eastern Command Kolkata, Southern Command Thiruvananthapuram, Southwestern Command Jaipur, Western Command Chandi Mandir, and Central Command Lucknow, and Army Training Command Shimla. Now talking about Indian Navy. Indian Navy is the 7th largest navy in the whole world. The chief is an admiral ranked chief of naval staff. The present chief of navy is Admiral Dinesh Tripathi. The navy headquarters is also situated in New Delhi. The navy is organized into 3 commands: Western Command Mumbai, Eastern Command Visakhapatnam, and Southern Command Kochi. Now talking about Indian Air Force. Indian Air Force is the 5th largest air force in the whole world. The chief is Air Chief Marshal ranked Chief of Air Staff. The present Air Chief Marshal is Amarpreet Singh. Its headquarters, it is mainly divided into 7 commands: Eastern Command Shillong, Western Command Shillong, Western Command Thiruvananthapuram, Southwestern Command Jaipur, Western Command New Delhi, and Central Command Allahabad. It has also 2 functional commands, Maintenance Command Nagpur and Training Command Bangalore. To conclude, I would like to say that Indian defense is not the defense of 1960s or 70s. Indian defense, we are in the invincible India, where Indian defense has become much more powerful and advanced. Thank you, and have a phenomenal day ahead.
Well said, Cadet Abhinit. Next speaker of the day is Cadet Soham Udmale from Tilak House.
Communication is just not about speaking what you think, but it is also about ensuring others that what you mean. Very good evening to one and all present over here. Respected President, Honorable Principal Sir, Administrative Officer, Senior Master, members of the jury, members of the faculty, the non-teaching staff, and let's not forget all my dear and Arjikans present in this August gathering. I, Cadet Soham Udmale, proudly representing my Tilak House, and today I'm going to dial up an informative call to you all about my topic, mobiles, telecom, and India. From making UPI payments to talking on video calls, from accessing social media to watching shows and movies on OTT platforms. Yes, my dear friends, this also includes your favorite YouTube shorts and Instagram reels. This all can be done on a simple rectangular screen called cell phones or mobiles. Initially only made for communicative purposes, now people have found out diverse ways of using it. It started like this. It was August 1995. The country had just celebrated its 48th Independence Day. And an historic moment was recorded a few weeks prior on 31st July 1995, when then the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Jyoti Basu, made India's first mobile call from Kolkata to New Delhi using a Nokia handset through Modi Terrestria's network service. Then, did you know it costed around rupees 4,900 for a simple prepaid SIM and rupees 17 per minute for incoming and outgoing calls? This was just an humble beginning, or shall I say, an invasion of telecomatics in India. Telecom was introduced in India in 1992. Along with it came companies like Sterling Cellular, Usha Martin, and Bharti Airtel. who started building up their roots and expanding India's telecommunication systems. Along with service providers, top handheld manufacturing companies like Nokia, Motorola, and Ericsson brought their devices to India. But things really changed when companies like Reliance and Vodafone entered in the field and instantly became dominant players. But through all of this, Bharti Airtel remained strong, from developing low-end second-generation technologies to high-end, high-tech and high-speed fifth-generation devices. Reliance Jio, which started in 2016, revolutionized networking by giving unlimited calls per SIM that they gave, making them India's largest data carriers. But haven't you all realized by now, mobile phones in India have evolved from an item of luxury to a lifeline of 1.2 billion people of India? This makes India the second largest mobile network in the world, which provides data rates at just rupees 13 per gigabyte. It's old news by now. Companies like Vodafone Idea, Airtel, and Jio have partnered with Elon Musk's SpaceX venture Starlink to get more satellite coverage over India. Due to this, 90% of our rural population have been connected with mobile phone connections. You need not need a dictionary to search up for information. Just ask, "Hey Siri" or "Hey Alexa," and you will get your information like that only. But at last, to end my call with my patient audience, I would like to say that a single call that started in 1995 now defines a well-connected India, bridging divisions and reshaping aspirations for all. Jai Hind, thank you.
Well said, Cadet Soham. The result is ready, but before the announcement of the result, I would like to know the audience opinion. Those who support the motion, please raise your hands. Now, those who oppose the motion, please raise your hands. This shows that majority opposes the motion. Let's see what judges have finalized. May I request Mr. U.A. Patil sir to kindly come on the stage to conduct the prize distribution ceremony. Sir, please.
Good evening everyone present here. Honorable Chief Guest, Captain K. Srinivasan, Principal, SAINIK School, SATARA. Adam Officer, Wing Commander Gaurav Sharon, Senior Master Sri P.G. Gay sir, dear respected teachers and my dear cadets. Today we have witnessed inter-house English debate competition in seniors grade for the year 2025-26. We hear all the speakers with great enthusiasm. These speakers have left lasting impact on our mind through the beautiful facts. Debate is not only the winning on argument. It's about learning to listen, think critically, and express yourself with clarity and respect. It's time now to honor the winners and also acknowledge the spirit of the teamwork and the spirit of house. Without taking much of your time, may I invite the chief guest of today's function, Captain K. Srinivasan sir, Principal, on the stage to honor the proud winners with medals, certificates and trophies. Sir, please. To start with third position, and it goes to Cadet Ishan Borse from Shastri House. Second position is backed by Cadet Darsh Ravane from Tilak House. And the winner of gold medal is Cadet Aditya Borge from Rana Pratap House. Now, certificates to the participants. First to come Cadet Naman Devrani from Tilak House. Cadet Harshal Mahajan from Shastri House. Next to come Cadet Kumar Kamlesh from Karve House. Cadet Manoj Kasule from again Karve House. And last, Cadet Aditya Tiwari from Rana Pratap House. Now, certificates to the open house speakers. First to come Tanuj Srivastav, Cadet Tanuj Srivastav from Lal Bahadur Shastri House. Cadet Manoj Viraj Mane from Karve House. Cadet Abhinit Kumar from Tilak House. And last, Cadet Soham Udmale from Tilak House. Cadet Soham is being awarded with the certificate for timekeeping. Cadet Soham, please. Cadet Udarai Kate from Tilak House received the certificate for presiding over the function successfully. It's time to announce the championship of Inter-House English Debate in Seniors Grade for 2025-26. Third position is secured by Karve House. Second position is backed by Rana Pratap House. And the first position is shared between two houses, that is Tilak House and Lal Bahadur Shastri House. House masters, hostel superintendents and house captains of both the houses to come and receive the trophy. House captains, cadets, please be silent. Cadets, please. Thank you, sir. May I now request the chief guest